Thanks for coming, guys. I'm really looking forward to having a conversation about land acknowledgements and about the land that Fleming is located on. For myself as an Indigenous person, land acknowledgements and welcome to the territories are super important. But more importantly, as a visitor to this territory, it's important for me to identify my responsibilities. That's to be thankful for the area and the Mississauga people for taking care of such a beautiful place and welcoming me into this community where I live, where I work, where I play. And I've been to be a part of this community for so many years. Land acknowledgements are unique to all kinds of areas. They're unique to communities and nations. And it's an important part for us to acknowledge that and to acknowledge that they're also very different for each and every one of us. So we can start by reading pieces of the acknowledgement and by talking about why this land is important to us.
We acknowledge that the land that Fleming College is on is the traditional territory of the Mississauga Anishinaabe people of the North Shore of Lake Ontario and its tributaries. Fleming College campus locations are covered by 18 treaties and agreements that the Mississauga Anishinaabe participated in from 1781 to 1923.
My name's Cody Simpson. I'm from the Alderville First Nation. I have been a member there for my entire life. The Alderville First Nation is located on the south shore of Rice Lake. Rice Lake is just north of Lake Ontario's North Shore. Our people settled in the Bay of Quinte. From the Bay of Quinte, we came to Rice Lake, Sugar Island, and then in Alderville First Nation, which is the reserve that I am from currently. The 1923 year that is recognized in the land acknowledgement is a very important year. That is the year that Alderville signed the 1923 Williams Treaty, which contains our hunting and fishing rights.
Fleming College has settled on this land and recognizes that the region is now home to many Indigenous people from across Turtle Islands and the importance of respecting the voices and the history of Indigenous communities. We are grateful to work on this land and will continue to build authentic and reciprocal relationships.
My name is Cheyenne. I'm also from Alderville First Nation. I am very proud to call this territory my home. Always have food and medicine accessible. As long as I'm good to the land, it's good to me. I have a very strong connection with the land, and I will continue to steward it as I've been and as my family and ancestors have been, and I'm hoping that maybe someday my children will steward the land.
One of the things that I've appreciated about being welcome to this territory and being able to work here is to be able to build relationships with the people of this community. So I'm very far from home. I'm very far from my family. And since I've been here, I've been able to make kinship relationships in this territory. So I have a ton of nieces and nephews and aunties and uncles and people that I can pick up the phone and talk to about my issues or about celebrations or anything like that. And I've really missed my family, but at the same time now I've gained a family, and I've also gained beautiful places where I can go swimming, where I learned to harvest wild rice for the very first time in my life, and it was here that I was able to do that. And so many other things that I've learned, and just really looking forward to opportunities to continue for me to give back. So I'm just wondering, what is it about this territory that you've been able to experience, coming from maybe that you hadn't experienced before, something that you appreciate? So can I ask you?
Yeah, sure. So before we work, we participate in an open house, and so which give me lots of idea about the Indigenous community, and I heard it was a great experience with me, and I love to learn more about it.
Yeah, looking forward to more events.
Yeah. For more events. Yeah.
Nice, thank you. How about yourself, Cheyenne?
Well, having lived here, I can talk about some of the places I've been, and I can say that in Alderville we have the Black Oak Savannah, and that holds a special place in my heart. And if you know anything or if you learn anything about the historical, ecological community that used to be here, all the way from Peterborough down to Coburg used to be vast lands of prairies. But because of colonization and just natural succession of the forest, we don't have a lot of the prairies or savannas left. Alderville is home to one of the biggest remnants of that left. So that's really cool, but also just the
Opportunity to learn. Yeah.
opportunity to continue learning and harvest from the land and just make connections with the different communities here.
How about you, Elizabeth?
Yeah, I've lived here all my life. My parents both grew up in different areas around Peterborough, and I just think experiencing, like you said, the water, the land, everything that it has to offer. We have a boathouse down on Rice Lake, so just getting out and seeing everything that there is to see. And I think it's always important to learn more about like the history and the importance of, things that came before us. So
Yeah. Cody, is there anything that you haven't experienced in this area or that you've appreciated from other places?
Well, I think just to speak to you as a visitor to Rice Lake and having a boathouse on Rice Lake and Cheyenne, reaping harvest from the land, and you indicating, that you're appreciate that you're a visitor and welcome, and that you're interested in everything here within the territory. Rice Lake, where I'm from, doesn't have any rice in it. And I've had visitors ask me, not that I'm the elder in the area or anything, but how did Rice Lake get its name? Well, when they built the Trent-Severn Waterway, which is the waterway that runs from Lake Ontario up to Georgian Bay, they flooded the lands and killed the rice beds. So the rehabilitation of those rice beds that Alderville has initiated makes me proud to be able to have that connection back as well.
And we can see that, no matter where we're from, in Canada and North America, in the world, there's all kinds of changes that have taken place across our territories, sometimes with our consent, sometimes without our consent. But it's really important to identify those histories, those things that are happening currently and in contemporary times, as well as how we're affected as individuals in these areas. So it's important to remember those things, both so that we can celebrate the successes of the area and celebrate the amazing opportunities and accomplishments of everybody that lives here, but most importantly of the people that are still here. Not part of history, not part of something that happened in 1923 or 1812 or any of those things, but people that we work with, that we pass in the hallways and all of those things. And really important to identify too that no matter where we go, if you move to another part of the world, or if you move to another part of the world, if I move to another part of the world, there's a whole other Indigenous community there that we need to honor. And just the importance of that, acknowledging that I'm a visitor here, that all Indigenous people aren't the same, that our communities are very diverse, just like other regions around the world. There's in excess of 540, I think, different nations, and we all have our own understanding and teachings and relationship with the land. Miigwech, you guys.
Miigwech.